Why can't we stop it? The bigger this war gets, the more freedoms we lose. Can't you figure this out? Look around you. Look how far we've come. Humanity wasn't meant to live like this. Our every waking moment, tracked and traced and scanned. It's time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work. Protect us from ourselves. Hey guys, I used to be one of you. Stop selling out your own species.
I broadcast 6 days a week. I look at hundreds and hundreds of articles a day, so does my crew. And we're seeing stories on a daily basis that are so off the charts, so authoritarian, tyrannical, anti-liberty, that it makes my head spin. 10, 15 years ago, one of these stories would be fodder for an entire week as evidence of how out of control the system is. Now, there are hundreds a day. So I dug through my stack at the end of the broadcast a few minutes ago and pulled out just a few of these to go over them. And this is just a small part of them. This is so otherworldly. Our entire system is being transferred from one of freedom to a giant prison planet, hence prisonplanet.com. And it's the fact that the media reports on most of this stuff like it's no big deal. Shopping malls want to put body scanners at the entrances before you can come in. And the same body scanners will scan you and give you a perfect fit with your clothes. The borders are wide open, crime's exploding, big mega banks are laundering hundreds of billions of dollars in the case of Wachovia and Wells Fargo, and even leasing the aircraft to ship the drugs, and they don't even get any trouble. They're given a fine of 0.3%. So we have all these serious crimes going on. I mean, we could list hundreds, so could you, where big institutions are above the law. Government is above the law. But then meanwhile, every week I see articles across the United States of organic farmers, Amish, people selling strawberries or tomatoes at roadside stands, the Girl Scouts not allowed to sell cookies on street corners, lemonade stands being fined, being shut down, licenses to have gardens in your backyard, because prisoners aren't allowed to do these things. We've got to be watched by the parasitic government that feeds off of us. And now, this case with the Fed stinging an Amish farmer, for a year they had underground people inside and doing the milk buys. Meanwhile, the Amish were selling it publicly. It was totally legal. But the feds took the milk they bought and went and sold it across state lines as a way to then come back and claim some interstate commerce clause. I mean, I can go buy raw milk at farms right here in Austin. They are setting the precedent that normal activity is illegal. And Big Pharma is ramming through laws to shut down vitamins and minerals. I'm going to cover that in a moment. And Europe is now implementing this, and they're trying to implement it here. Just like Big Agra is on record trying to pass the Food Safety Act, the Animal ID, Premises ID, and exclusively giving the money, $17 million last year in 1 week alone, to try to get it passed to shut down the farms and ranches. Just incredible. So the Amish that are nonviolent, super low crime rates, very low illness rates, living in really 17th century technological level, they're being cracked down on everywhere because they haven't been absorbed by the hive Borg. And they're using environmental rules to take their property, eminent domain. Folks, if the Amish aren't being left alone, none of us are safe. And here is the outrageous article out of the Daily Mail. Herbal medicines banned as EU directive comes into force. Patients have lost access to hundreds of herbal medicines today after the European regulators and regulations came into force. Everything. You're talking over-the-counter vitamin C, fish oil, echinacea, all these ancient systems that these big pharma companies are now coming and patenting and then trying to sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars per container. But see, now they've got to shut down their competition so that they can get the money as prescriptions, not over-the-counter or from your local health food store. This is just pure and total tyranny, and in the Food Safety Act, it actually said Codex Alimentarius trying to put us under this UN law to shut it down. So just unbelievably draconian there, and it all comes together. Here's another report. I pointed this out 4 or 5 weeks ago, that just 12 kilometers away from the Fukushima disaster with radiation 7.5 million times safe levels. That was admitted. The Japanese government was saying it was safe for kids to go to school and play outside. Meanwhile, 800 miles away in South Korea, they weren't going to school and wearing masks. Now all that stuff's blown over here at levels, in some cases, 500 plus times safe levels. No testing of milk now by the feds, only the states. No warning, folks, about seafood because they don't care about you. They're trying to ban vitamins because they want to control the market and your health. But they don't care about you getting radiation. These people are sick. And now the chief Japanese radiation expert, nuclear advisor of the president, has resigned, saying it was covered up. And he mentioned the school kids in Japan. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much these governments care about you, just like the U.S. government doesn't care. And coming here to the close of some of these articles, U.S. Treasury, China has decreased its holdings of U.S. debt. We knew that last October. And now the Treasury tells us that last October they did this. The Chinese put a press release out. Standard & Poor's came out a few weeks ago and said, you've got too much debt, you're raising your debt ceiling, taxes being raised won't pay for it. Our outlook for the U.S. keeping its AAA rating is very dark. That means we'll become like a third world country when a $1 billion loan, turns into $100 billion. So we're going the way of a third world banana republic. And meanwhile, they're saying that it's people that want to cut taxes and want a free market that are causing the default and the death of the dollar that's now unfolding. The very people that run the banking cartel want to bankrupt us, want to get control of our lives, and now that they're getting us up to the point of announcing it, they're preparing to scapegoat myself, Ron Paul, and others that have simply been exposing what they're doing, and we're now trying to stop them from completely ramming the Titanic into the iceberg. And I want to finish up with, about Ammar al-Awlaki, Fox News headline, head of al-Qaeda under bin Laden, #2, meeting secretly at the Pentagon, when he's on the most wanted list and all that. And the head of the 7/7 bombings, a SWAT being admitted MI6, mainstream news, but it's just a minor footnote. And the hijacker training at U.S. military bases. Every week or so I see a new one of these. Here's one this week from the BBC. Al-Qaeda assassin worked for MI6 secret cables claim, and they admit these are real WikiLeaks documents. They're not denying it. This is one of the head guys running attacks in Pakistan, so they have a pretext to move forces and drones into Pakistan. So there's that report, BBC. Here's another one. Al-Qaeda assassin worked for MI6. And finally, I told you 16 years ago on the Telecommunications Act that all phones under federal law triangulate your GPS off the towers, triangulating you, and have a function where the government can dial in even when the phone's off and listen to you. Remember 6 years ago on Thanksgiving, Bush flew to Baghdad, and they made all the press corps take their phones, take the batteries off, and put them in a bag. And people said, why? And they said, well, because governments could dial in and listen to what's happening on the plane. The government was disabling its own surveillance system there. This has all been known. And first it's iPhone. Oh, then it's Google. Then it's Microsoft phone. And now, a month into this, they admit, it's everything. But Congress is going to have an investigation of these companies. These companies are following the federal regulations. Here it is, confirmed. iPhone and iPad secretly track and store your location, and a lot more. The point is, this isn't freedom. And this is the stuff I see every day, every week. So much of it, we can't even cover it all. And I'm tired of it. And that's why we shot this video in this Scanner Darkly type look, because I feel like I'm living in a fantasy land. But I guess many historians have pointed out, truth is stranger than fiction. And people believe that tyranny can't come to America. Ladies and gentlemen, tyranny has come. And now they're trying to curtail our free speech. It's time to get the word out, to recognize that we've become a sick society, and to start changing course. Rediscover the Bill of Rights and Constitution, a culture of liberty, and begin to take action. And it won't happen overnight. But we must stand up against this system. We must reignite the spirit of 1776, or we have absolutely no hope. But this stuff's gotten so off the chart ridiculous, so ridiculously corrupt, so cartoonish, that if we do stand up and point out the emperor has no clothes, we've got a chance of beating this. Thank you for watching.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.